So it's Valentine's Day. We're here at Bronxville Women's Club.
I don't hear too well, so.
We're at Bronxville Women's Club today, Valentine's Day, and Rosemary Cummins is one of the featured artists. So we're going to have a narrated tour.
Hi, this is a pencil sketch of my brother that I took from a photograph. And I actually worked on this with the Fran Sisco in class at the Bronxville adult education class. And this is a pastel of my dad when he was probably about 40. And when I was working on it, I felt that I didn't finish his eyes because it looked so much like him, and I didn't really need to finish his eyes.
Oh, okay.
Right? And
as opposed to your brother, has very clear eyes.
that's very clear, and that, of course, is a pencil sketch, where this is a pastel.
Right.
Okay, and this is an acrylic I did, again, from a photograph. And
Beautiful.
It's called Autumn Number 1. Okay.
Who were the artists who inspired you?
Oh, mostly impressionists. I'm
yeah.
trying to get down to that and get away from the detail. I'm really not a detail person.
Like Matisse?
Yeah, Matisse and most of the impressionists.
Okay.
Let's see. Now this is a pen and ink that I did of a church in Ireland in County Monaghan. My husband was writing a book, and this is one of the illustrations I was going to put in the book for him. But since he passed away, it never happened. So here we are. And then around the corner here, we have a pastel of, again, I said thanks to Humans of New York, the fellow who walked around New York and took pictures of people.
Wow.
And published a book called Humans of New York.
Wow.
And when I saw it on Facebook, the woman just fascinated me.
Yes.
I had to do it, so that's a pastel.
On a busy street.
On a busy street in New York.
And this was a real headdress that she had on.
Yes, this is what she was wearing, and it fascinated me. And now I'm back to Ireland here. I have two acrylics, one called the Wild Atlantic Way, and that's the coast of Sligo in the west of Ireland. And this is just one of the pathways in Ireland, in one of their little forests there in Sligo.
Wow, I feel like I'm walking up this path here.
Right, and I call that, what do I call it? I call that
Mystical
Pathway. Yes.
Wow, beautiful.
Okay. And of course, my parents were from Sligo, so that has great meaning to me.
Okay.
And over here we have some pastels.
How long ago would you have done this piece about?
I think the last time I was in Ireland was 2002.
Okay.
So.
Your work is very varied.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm all over the place.
Different times of your life, or just
mostly,
different moods? And
I think it's moods. It depends on how I feel and what I'm working with and what I want to portray as far as color.
Okay.
And some things lead more to pastels for me, some to acrylic, some to watercolor. So.
Okay.
And these are called the Fields of Galway, and these are pastels. I did them when I was in Galway in the west of Ireland, and this is called plein air. So these are three versions of.
And is this late in the afternoon?
Yes, I think this probably was late in the afternoon because I'm not a morning person, so
Right.
It would figure out.
The sky has an unusual feel, and I'm told in Ireland there's
the light in Ireland for
is,
artists is just magnificent.
Wow.
It's just unusual. It really is. So
beautiful.
And let's see, this is a watercolor I did, floral, and this is called Spring is Sprung.
Spring is sprung.
And it is a watercolor.
And soon enough it will be, right?
Yes, definitely.
I'm getting a reflection of the windows behind.
I know, that's the trouble.
But that's interesting, though. This is a beautiful watercolor. Wow.
All right, and let's see, now over here I had an attempt
That one on the mirror is not yours?
No,
Okay.
this is a watercolor, and I call this in the manner of Manet, Edouard Manet.
Oh.
And so I did, but I wasn't as successful as Manet.
Beautiful.
And this is a watercolor. I worked with a,
You know, I see it, I'm sure it was, you didn't mean it, and maybe you don't want it to be, but it almost looks like eyes to me.
oh, really?
You know?
Oh, yes, here, look
Yeah,
at
you
that.
know?
Yeah, I never saw that.
It
yeah.
looks almost like eyes and
now
a
I
tongue.
can't look at it with that. Okay. He said everyone's interpretation
Maybe
is
a
different.
Picasso-ish,
Right.
you know?
Now, this is, my first introduction to watercolor was at Botanical Gardens in New York, in the Bronx. And I took a class with what I had no idea that he was as famous a watercolorist. And he was 79 when I first met him, and his name was, this is awful.
It'll come to you.
It'll come to me.
Just
Anyway,
go. Yes.
and so he was the guru of what we call wet in wet watercolor. And that's where
Wet in?
wet in wet. So
Wet
you
in
wet
wet.
your paper, and then you lay down the color.
Oh, I see.
And then it absorbs the color, so that you can
I
see some
see.
of that
Yeah.
where, you know, some of the colors were absorbed into the wet background.
Is this a place in Long Island, or?
No, it's just something
or-
that he illustrated, and then
Okay.
we kind of worked it, you know, and of course, my version is very different from his.
I can
so.
almost hear the seagulls.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
Very, very good.
And of course, the sky is different, and,
Yes.
and that's the wet and wet effect.
Very
This
nice.
is a pen and ink of Fonthill Castle, which was on the grounds of the college I attended in Riverdale, New York, and to the College of Mount St. Vincent, and so it's just a pen and ink.
It's beautiful.
Of-
It
of-
reminds me a bit of the church
Yes, well,
on the
when
other
you're
wall.
doing pen and ink, again,
Yes, you get that.
that same, that's how you
Right.
have to work. It
Right.
has to be pretty exact.
Very, very detailed. Beautiful.
And then these are three, again, I did in Galway and Connemara. 3 versions of sort of the same Connemara 1, 2, and 3. And these are watercolors I did on site.
And how long would these watercolors take you?
Something like
about?
this doesn't take very long. I would say you could do this in half an hour.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
And what is the best time? Do you have a particular time of day, or
No, not
or how you
really.
put yourself into the flow?
It just happens to be how I feel.
Right.
And whatever responds to me, and how I feel like something happens, and I want to.
And then you're driven.
I'm
to do it.
driven to paint. And
Wow,
that's
that's
it.
great.
That's what happens. So.
And I suppose it also helps with any stress or relieving a
absolutely.
tremendous amount of anxiety.
You need concentration.
Right.
And so you really, and when it comes to painting, you lose time. You have no idea of how long you're working, because it's sort of like meditation.
Right. Right.
You know, you're just lost, and you're
Right,
all
you
of a
go
sudden,
into it,
You're
right.
into it, and time is not a question.
Very
So,
good. Now, you teach a class here occasionally, right?
No, I don't
Oh,
teach.
no, you don't teach?
No,
Okay.
I'm just there. I'm really monitoring the
Monitoring.
art sessions for any artists who want to come join us.
Okay,
But at
great.
some point, now we're trying to collect for the club art supplies, so that anyone who would like to try their hand at it, we will have the supplies for them to come and join us and paint with us.
Very good.
And maybe I will be teaching, as
Okay,
I move
great.
on.
And we're at the Bronxville Women's Club in Bronxville, New York, and please feel free to contact the director, Joyce Ballant, at bronxvillewomensclub.org, and ask for and say you saw this video with Rosemary Cummins. Thank you, Rosemary.
Oh, thank
And I'm
you.
Fran Sisco.
Thank you,
Thank you
Fran.
so much. Beautiful art. Keep it up.
Thank you.